We got an update today from the New York Police Department commissioner. She gave new details about the evidence found on Luigi Mangione, the man held in the killing of a U.S. health insurance CEO.
We got the gun in question back from Pennsylvania. It's now at the NYPD crime lab. We were able to match that gun to the 3 shell casings that we found in Midtown at the scene of the homicide. We were also able at our crime lab to match the person of interest's fingerprints with fingerprints that we found on both the water bottle and the Kind bar near the scene of the homicide in Midtown.
There are also images of Mangione at the time of his arrest in a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. He's seen pulling down his mask at the request of police. His lawyer said Mangione will plead not guilty to murder and will fight the attempt to extradite him to New York to face prosecution. His lawyer has 2 weeks to file court documents to back up Mangione's claim he is not the gunman. Now, since the killing of the UnitedHealthcare CEO last week, a startling amount of online support for the alleged killer has been pouring in. David Gilbert is a reporter with Wired who's been tracking all of it, and David is joining us now. Thanks for being with us, David.
Glad to be here.
So people have been really fixated with Mangione, posts praising him, even merchandise celebrating him. Tell us more about what you've been seeing online.
So, yeah, I think pretty much immediately after the first images came out, even when his identity wasn't known, there was this groundswell online of people who were glorifying him, praising him, kind of viewing him as a hero because of the person who he killed, because he was seen as someone who was a personification of a lot of pent-up anger, I think, in the US. And over the course of the last week, we've seen that grow and grow. And when his identity was released and it was shown that he was maybe not the leftist working class hero that some thought he was, it didn't matter. People continued to just pour love and adoration on him. And as you said, there's all types of merchandise available with his face on it. People saying that they love him. And it just seems to be continuing to grow and showing no signs of stopping.
Yeah, and we certainly don't see this kind of support for an alleged killer normally. So what is behind this?
I think it is quite clear what's happening. I think it's the fact that this isn't celebrating a murder. This is purely a chance for the people who are expressing admiration for what happened to vent this pent-up anger that they've had for years about the US healthcare system, about health insurers in particular in the US. These millions and millions of people have either seen family members going through chronic pain or dying in some cases, while these healthcare companies have continued to make millions and millions of dollars in profit, and CEOs like Brian Thompson making tens of millions of dollars every year. And I think because of that anger, this was just a way for them to express it. This wasn't necessarily saying they want more people to be murdered or saying that the murdering is okay. It was just a way for them to express that anger online, and it's turned into this glorification of the shooter.
Well, and to be clear, the online glorification is certainly being condemned by a lot of people. And what are the concerns with seeing this kind of online outrage?
So you said we didn't see this type of glorification of a shooter before, and that's true in some sense, but we have seen it in terms of mass shooters and school shooters in the past. But that glorification has been strictly limited to fringe online platforms, the likes of 4chan or 8chan or Telegram, where people who are already radicalized, who are already hold extremist views, praise the people who have conducted the mass shootings because they believe in the same things that the shooters do, such as white supremacist ideology. What we're seeing here is the fact that this is mainstream. This is happening out in the open. And the worry for some people, I think, is that that will therefore radicalize other people because they've seen how Luigi Mangione has been glorified, and maybe they feel that they could do something similar.
Well, and when we see this kind of online chatter in a case like this, what does that say about us as a culture?
I think the idea that this is somehow kind of showing us to be crass and unlikable and people who we wouldn't want to spend time with is wrong, really. I think the idea is that while it seems as if a lot of these people are celebrating the murder, what they're actually doing is using it as a way to voice their something that they haven't been able to say publicly for a long time. That we haven't had this reckoning or this public focus on the US healthcare system for a long time. They've politicians and everything else hasn't done anything to move the dial, but what's happened here has given people a voice. And I think what it says is that people are really, really angry. And this is the kind of manifestation of that anger. And while it seems very strange and very weird, I don't think it necessarily means that people are really bad and really want other people to be murdered. I think it just speaks more about the anger and frustration that is in America at the moment.
All right, David. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the program tonight.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
David Gilbert is a reporter at Wired covering the Mangione case.